Well, hey, everybody. This, I believe, is the first video announcement I posted this semester in this class. And I just want to say hi to everyone and greet you and let you know that I hope that everything's going okay, that I hope that you're enjoying the class, hope that everything so far in your semester is going well as well. And in some of my classes, I do these little announcement videos more often than I do in others. And so I think, like I said, this is the first time that I've actually done one for this class. But I did want to record just a really brief announcement video to highlight for you two or three things that you may have seen on the announcements page, this front page of our classroom. And I know how busy we can get. I know for many of you, you have multiple classes in D2L you're checking into. And so I know sometimes that information can get lost very, very, very easily. So I wanted to kind of hit just a couple of these announcements and talk to you face to face just briefly about kind of what all is going on, just to make sure that you don't miss it. So first two things. Number one, if you're not already receiving the text messages that we send out to our students, then I want to encourage you to sign up for the text message group that we have in Human Services. I posted an announcement about that a little bit earlier this semester, and you have information about that in your syllabus. So if you've not already done that and you want to make sure that you stay in the loop in what's going on in our Human Services program at the Montgomery campus as a whole, go to the syllabus, get the instructions, join the Remind group, as we call it. And that way you kind of are able to stay in the loop on whatever is going on just in human services across our campus and across our college system. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, if you scroll down a little bit, you may remember that I had posted an announcement about spring registrations. Hard to believe that we're ready to register for the spring. So these are the January to May classes, spring of 2023. And so registration is open for our spring semester. I know all of you are probably on different paths right now as far as your degree plan, and some of you are finishing up this semester. Some of you still have a long way to go. But we are offering on the Montgomery campus many classes, a wide range of classes that you can take advantage of. If you've not already registered, if you've not already visited with an advisor, I don't have that announcement posted anymore. But if you email me, then I can send you a copy of our schedule. I have that posted for a couple of weeks at least, for you to take advantage of as you're working with your advisor or with Brittany, our Human Services advisor at Montgomery, to basically find the classes that you need to take for the spring. So that announcement has already disappeared. But if you scroll down below this video, you're going to see three different announcements that I just posted in the last week or so that I want to make sure that you see. Number one, another great way to stay in the loop on our Human Services program is to join our Facebook group. And I give you the information about that. If you scroll down a little bit below this video, you'll see. So if you're on Facebook and you want to use that as a way to stay kind of plugged in to what we're doing in our program, join us on Facebook. For years, we had a Facebook group related to the Human Services Student Organization. We archived it for a couple of years over the pandemic, but now we're back. So if you want to join our Facebook group on Facebook, go and check out that announcement. That's the first thing. Second thing is this: on Wednesday evening, November the 9th, here on the Montgomery campus in room G102 is our next Human Services Student Organization meeting. And I want to especially encourage anyone who is in this class, or if you know anyone in our program who is interested in drug and alcohol counseling, you're interested in one day becoming an LCDC potentially, a licensed chemical dependency counselor. I really want to encourage you, if you're able, to come on Wednesday night, November the 9th at 6 p.m. to G102 on the Montgomery campus. We're going to have about an hour and a half from 6 to 7:15, 6 to 7:30 meeting. We're going to make some announcements. We're going to eat a little bit of food. And then Peter Mott, who's an LCDC, an addictions counselor down in Houston and a member of our program's advisory committee, is going to be our guest speaker. And I've asked Peter to come and just talk about what it really takes to work in the field of addictions counseling. You know, many of our students in our program come and take classes with us because they're interested in addictions counseling. That may be why you're here. But not every student who comes through our program goes forward and becomes an addictions counselor. Now, there could be lots of reasons for that. People change their mind, or life happens, or whatever it may be. But here's what often happens. And there's no shame in this, but it's just what happens. People get fired up about being an addictions counselor. They come and take classes with us, and then they get out there in the real world. And they get out there working with real people, not just talking about working with people like we do in our classes. We talk about working with people, but we're not really working with people when you take classes with us. We're just talking about it. And then they get out there in the real world and they realize, wow, this is not what I thought it was going to be. This is harder than I thought it was going to be sometimes. This is going to take me longer than I thought it was going to take me sometimes. And so people give up and get discouraged. So about every year or so, I try to have at least one guest speaker like this meeting who is already in the field of addictions counseling to come and to share with all of us, even for those of us who are interested in addictions counseling, what's it really like? What's it take? What is the value of getting a license as an addictions counselor? What can you do with it? What options are available? And Peter's going to cover all of that on Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. in room G102 on November the 9th. Now, again, I know that may not work with everyone's schedule. There's really no way we can schedule a meeting that works with everybody's schedule. We schedule meetings a lot of times in the daytime. We have people saying, hey, I can't come in the daytime. What are you going to do one in the evening? Now we schedule one in the evening. Sometimes students say, hey, I can't come in the evening. So that's fine. Doesn't matter. There's no pressure. It's totally optional. But if you are in the class or you know of someone who's in our program who's interested in addictions counseling, if they are able to be here on the 9th at 6 p.m. in room G102, they need to be here. I would encourage you strongly to come. Rearrange your schedule if you have to, if you need to. Come and listen to Peter share a little bit about addictions counseling, and also to have a chance to maybe network with some other human services students. Maybe you're taking a bunch of online classes right now, and you know that's going to end eventually because, again, we don't work with people online. You may do some of your classes online, but we don't do our work online. So at some point, you're going to have to come to campus and be in a classroom setting and be in a practicum setting. And if you're not already doing that, here's a great opportunity to come for 90 minutes. Come to campus, come see and network with some students, come meet some folks. I'll be there. You come and meet me. By the way, too, if you do come, and I've never had you before in class, that meeting, make sure you just seek me out and make sure that I know who you are and you know who I am. And so I love that when we have some of these HSSO meetings because students will often approach me and say, hey, you may not know me, but I'm in your online class and we've never met face to face. So I hope you'll come. Wednesday night, November 9th, 6:30, room G102, addictions counseling as a profession. And you'll see some information if you scroll down below this video. You'll also see a little flyer for that as well too. Even if you're not interested in addictions counseling, come anyways. If you're interested in human service, it's a great way to learn about human services is to come to this meeting on Wednesday, November the 9th at 6 p.m. Last thing is this, if you scroll down beneath this video, you're going to see a handout on transfer. I share with you in the announcement. Probably one of the most common questions that I get as the program director here at Montgomery from students is, where can I transfer to? When I'm done with my education at Lone Star, I'm done with my certificate, I'm done with my associate's degree, where can I go? I want to go and get my bachelor's degree. Maybe some of you want to get your master's degree. I hope that's the case. I love it when I hear students say, hey, I want to get my bachelor's degree, and I want to get my master's degree maybe. Well, where can I go? You know that after Lone Star, and you have your associate's degree, you have to move on to another college or university because we only offer associate's degrees here. And you're probably going to need at least a bachelor's degree to really work long-term in this field. If that's your long-term goal, is to work long-term in the social services, human services, counseling, social work field, you're going to need to continue your education. So one of the most common questions we get is, well, where can I go? Can I go to Sam Houston or Prairie View or U of H or A&M? Where can I go? So I've posted for you in an attachment just below this announcement of 6 options. Now, these are not your only 6 options, but I've provided for you 6 really good options that through the years, we've had many students choose all 6 of them to transfer on and study at the bachelor's degree level. There's a couple of programs where you can study social work. There's a couple of programs where you can study human services. Some of them are online. Some of them are face-to-face. Some of them are right here local. Some of them are not. And so I always try to give students that information so that way they know what their options are. Where can I go and transfer to get a bachelor's and or a master's degree? So I've given you a handout for that as well too. And I didn't want you to miss it. That's part of why I wanted to include it in this video announcement, is because I want to make sure that you see that. I want to make sure that you are aware of that. And I want to make sure that you have information that you need about what your options are. And again, I'll say this and then I'll be done. Just keep in mind with those 6 options, those are not your only 6 options. You may have somewhere else that you want to go, and you can certainly pursue transfer there as well too. But these 6 are universities and colleges where we have had recently, in the recent 5 years or so, we have had students transfer to those programs successfully. And today, the former students here in our program, they're bachelor's and master's level students at those universities. Again, you can choose any number of different universities and colleges. You have lots of options, and I know that can be stressful and exciting at the same time. But I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of some specific examples of places here locally where students can transfer to. I always share and tell students this as well too. Some of you know this already, but if you don't, let me kind of make sure we're all on the same page here. I always encourage students to shop around, if I can just use that language. You have many options. I always encourage students to consider and pursue and investigate at least two. Don't just go to one and say, that's where I'm going to go. Because there may be another university or college that has a better deal financially. Maybe they're going to allow you, enable you to get done with your degree quicker, maybe. I always encourage students to shop around, to look around a little bit. All of those universities, well, all universities want you to come to their university because you are a prospective student to them. But don't be afraid to be choosy, is what I would say. Don't be afraid to be choosy. Find the program, the university that works for you. You always want to ask questions about how much is this going to cost me? What are my financial aid and grant options? How long is it going to take me to finish my bachelor's degree if I come to you? What will I major in? Here at Lone Star right now, most of you are majoring in human services. Well, at the bachelor level, you also have to have a major. So each of these universities provides a little bit of a different option as far as what would my major be? Social work, psychology, human services, counseling. So what would I study if I came here? Is another great question to ask. And then, of course, the big question is where and how will I take my classes? Do I have to drive to Huntsville? Do I have to drive down into Houston? Can I do them online? Can I do part of them online or all of them online? All of that. I give you a range of options on that handout. So check them out. Let me know if you have any questions about any of them or other universities or colleges, because you have lots of options. I just want to make sure that you have that. Usually if you take classes with me on campus, some of you in here are taking classes with me on campus, at least once a semester, I always make sure students know about transfer. It's a little handout that I've provided for you. I've already provided to my in-class, on-campus students, and now I want to make sure that you are aware of it, those of you who are taking classes with me online. So all of that's the announcements. I'm also going to post another announcement video like this one as we get past Thanksgiving, close to the end of our class. I always do it at the end of every online class. So you'll see me again here in a few weeks. Let me know if you have any questions. Great to see you. I'll talk to you soon.